Speakers have 3 minutes. If you'd like to talk about a topic that's not on the agenda, please complete a blue speaker card and give it to the officer in the back of the room. Items that are not on the agenda are heard at the end of the voting meeting. Glendale has 7 city council members. Mayor Jerry Wires, Vice Mayor Joyce Clark of the Yucca District, Councilmember Jamie Aldama of the Ocotillo District, Councilmember Ian Hugh of the Cactus District, Councilmember Bart Turner of the Beryl District, Councilmember Ray Malner of the Saguaro District, and Councilmember Lauren Tomachoff of the Cholla District. This meeting is streaming live on Glendale's Facebook and YouTube pages and the city's cable television station, Glendale Channel 11. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to the meeting of October 24th, 2023. The meeting is called to order. Roll call, I'm not going to call because everybody's sitting here. If you'll make note of that, please. The next 2 items on our agenda are the invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. James Dibler tonight will give our invocation. He's a member of the St. Helen Catholic Church. Gentlemen, if it's appropriate, if you'd please remove your hat. If everyone would please stand for the invocation, and then please remain standing for our pledge. Thank you. James. Invocation. There you go.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, hear my prayer. Lord, hear my prayer. Lord, hear my prayer. Please keep the city of Glendale safe from bad people. Please keep the Glendale Police Department fighting with crime on the streets. And please help the Arizona Diamondbacks to win the World Series. And our Father, you are heaven, hallowed be the name. The kingdom come, will be done. Earth is in heaven. Give us a day their bread. Give us our trespass against us. It is not the temptation of the lesson evil. God's keep it by glory forever, ever. Name of Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, James. Everyone, please join me at the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is approval of minutes. For the consideration of the minutes from the October 10, 2023 voting meeting. Council members, do you have any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve October 10, 2023 minutes?
Mayor.
Go ahead.
Motion to approve meeting minutes of October 10th, 2023.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Aldama, a second from Councilmember Tomachoff. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Pairs the ayes have it, do have it, that motion carries. There are no proclamations today, so we'll go right into our consent agenda. Consent agenda items 2 through items 14 and also item 16. My understanding that Councilmember Tomachoff wanted to have item 15 polled for a separate presentation and a separate vote. Is that correct?
I don't know that there's a separate vote necessary, but a separate presentation.
Okay. All right. Well, then, if that's the case, why don't we go ahead and if we can have item 15 presented before we take a vote. So, items on a consent agenda, they're typically of routine nature, been previously studied by the City Council at a workshop session. They are intended to be acted upon in one motion by this council. Do we have any speaker cards for any consent agenda items?
No, sir.
None? Okay. So if we could go ahead and, if you don't need a separate vote, then go ahead and we'll read all items 2 through 16, and then I'd like to do a separate vote on 15 first.
I don't. Mayor?
Yes?
I'm fine with voting on them all at once. I just wanted to have.
I understood. That's why I wanted one separate.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we're all saying the same thing. You don't need to read them?
Not
okay, go ahead.
Items.
Item 15?
Thank you, Mayor.
Perfect.
My name is Jim Brown, HR Director, and I'll be reading item number 15 to the council. This is a request for the City Council to authorize the City Manager to reclassify existing positions within the organization that have either experienced a change in duties and or responsibilities or require a grade adjustment to better align either internally or with the external market or both. Tonight we have 6 departments that are requesting position reclassifications. However, prior to addressing the council's questions on this item, I do need to make a few corrections to the council documents that have been provided to you. The corrections can be found on, there's a spreadsheet that was provided to the council on the agenda, and on the council spreadsheet that's entitled Positions Recommended for Classifications. There is a column for the estimated budget impact in fiscal year 24-25 for vacant positions. That column populated an amount for both vacant and filled positions. I've made that correction. I've taken out those the numbers for the filled positions, so it has made a difference in the financial impact, and I'll share that with you in a minute. Also on that same spreadsheet, there is a position for fire services, position number 95, showing an estimated savings to the city of over $58,000 for this fiscal year and about $85,000 for next fiscal year. The correct amount of savings for that position is $4,367.06 for this fiscal year and $6,307.98 in an estimated savings for the upcoming year. So after these corrections have been made, the known budget impact for fiscal year 23-24 changes from $232,319.43 to $286,813.84. And it changes the estimated budget impact for fiscal year 24-25 from $839,064.48 to $432,332.61. So it cuts that almost in half. I've made these corrections to the council documents, and I've sent all of these documents to the council as well as to the city clerk for official correction. And I would be happy to now to answer any questions that you have with regard to the reclasses.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. My question actually, the city manager answered my question this morning, but because I had already pulled it, I didn't want to cause any confusion. So my question was related to the reassignment of duties for the Director of Organizational Performance. And my concern was I wasn't sure we were filling that position, but I was told that we were and that there's just going to be a reassignment. And I don't know if Mr. Brown would like to speak to that just a little bit.
Mayor, Councilmember Tomalchoff, that's correct. That position is out. We are filling that position. We are moving some of the responsibilities, such as employee engagement surveys, success factor awards, those things that are more employee-centric and employee strategic initiatives, over to the city manager's office. The org performance still is responsible for organizational metrics, data-driven organization, citizen surveys, those types of things will remain with the org performance.
Very good, thank you.
Okay, so did we get our motion items 2 through 16 yet?
No, Mayor.
Okay, we need that.
Thank you. My mic on? I
Yes.
move we approve items 2 through 16.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion from Councilmember Hewitt and seconded by by the Vice Mayor to approve consent items 2 through 16. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Here's ayes have it, do have it. That motion carries. Moving on. Consent resolutions. Ms. Bauer, would you read consent resolution items 17 through 20 by number and title?
Item 17, resolution number R 23-82, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of a grant pass-through agreement with the City of Phoenix, FAIN number AZ 2019-01500 for the purpose of providing transit services. Item 18, resolution number R 23-83, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of Amendment 2 to the New River and Agua Fria River Underground Storage Project intergovernmental agreement among Salt River Valley Water Users Association, Salt River Project Agricultural Improvement and Power District, and the municipal corporations of Avondale, Chandler, Peoria, and Glendale. Item 19, resolution number R 23-84, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of a memorandum of understanding between the Glendale Municipal Court and the Veterans Administration. Item 20, resolution number R 23-86, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing and directing the entering into of an agreement with the State of Arizona Office of the Attorney General and authorizing the acceptance and expenditure of the fiscal year 2024 Victims' Rights Program Award AG 2024-044 in the approximate amount of $53,700 on behalf of the Glendale Police Department. That concludes the consent resolutions.
All right, thank you. Do you have any speaker cards?
No, sir.
Okay, anything from Chief Briggs? No? Okay, can I get a motion to approve items 17 through 20 on the consent resolutions agenda?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move that we approve items, consent resolution items 17 through 20.
I have a motion from Councilmember Milner, a second from the Vice Mayor to approve items 17 through 20 on consent resolutions agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Here, you guys have it, do have it, that motion carries. Land development actions, moving on to that, our Deputy Director for Developmental Services, Ms. Tabitha Perry, requested to present items 21 in a public hearing. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce items 21, Resolution R 23-85?
Resolution number R 23-85, a resolution of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the general plan map of the City of Glendale, Arizona by approving General Plan Amendment GPA 23-04 for property located at the northeast corner of 55th Avenue and Northern Avenue, ordinance number O 23-50, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, rezoning 1.5 acres located at the northeast corner of 55th Avenue and Northern Avenue from A1 agricultural to PAD, planned area development, for development plan entitled Glen Lakes, amending the zoning map, providing for an effective date, and ordering that a certified copy of the ordinance is recorded.
Public hearing is now open on item 21, resolution number 023-85 and ordinance 023-50. Ms. Perry.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a city-initiated general plan amendment and rezoning application. Staff has presented various stages of this entitlement project before Council in several workshops, as well as hosted an informal neighborhood meeting to receive early input on desired land uses for the subject site. This to work for me?
Is it over here or over there? There you go.
Okay, perfect. The first request is to amend the land use designation from public open space to planned commercial and rezone the property from agricultural to planned area development. The approximately 1.5 acre site is located at the northeast corner of 55th and Northern Avenues and is approximately 1 mile from City Hall. As it relates to the general plan amendment proposal, the proposed land use designation is compatible with surrounding land use designations and supports economic growth for infill properties. As it relates to the rezoning proposal, the proposed rezoning will support redevelopment based on market demands to provide additional retail and commercial services in the area. The PAD provides appropriate permitted land uses as well as prohibited land uses such as pawn shops and thrift stores. Here's an aerial map to give context. The subject site is outlined in red. To the east is existing commercial land uses, and to the north is the Trevino at Glen Lake subdivision comprised of 173 lots that is currently under development. As part of the formal process, staff has not received any oppositions to the applications. On September the 28th, Planning Commission recommended approval of GPA 23-04 as written, and recommended approval of ZON 23-06 with one stipulation. And with that, Mayor and Council, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Hearing none. Okay, if there's no one else wishing to speak on this item, public hearing is now closed. Can I get a motion on item 21, resolution R23-85?
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt resolution R23-85.
Second.
Motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, second Councilmember Hugh to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote? Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Can I get a motion on item 21, ordinance 023-50?
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance O23-50.
Second.
Motion from Councilmember Tomachoff, second Councilmember Hugh to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, roll call vote again. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote? Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Moving on to ordinances. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 22, ordinance 023-51?
Ordinance number O23-51, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending the Glendale City Code, Chapter 14, Civil Defense and Emergency Services, and setting forth an effective date.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report this evening is Nicole Munson, Emergency Manager Director. Thanks.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This item is to request Council to adopt an ordinance amending Chapter 14 of the City Code pertaining to emergency management. This item was previously discussed during the September 26th Council workshop. The amendments allow for alignment with related state statutes and Federal Emergency Management Agency best practices. These amendments also modernize the language to reflect the focus and terminology of the emergency management discipline. Additionally, the amendments increase clarity on the roles and responsibilities of the city's emergency management organization. With that, I'm available if there's any questions.
Any questions from the council? Do we have any speaker cards?
No, sir.
Can I get a motion on ordinance 023-51, item number 22?
Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance O23-51.
Motion Councilmember Turner, Vice Mayor to approve, second that to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote? Chair votes aye. That motion carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 23-023-52?
Ordinance number O23-52, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, amending Glendale City Code, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 3, Officers and Employees, Division 1, Generally, Section 2-58, Powers and Duties to create an independent internal audit program and an audit committee.
Mayor, members of the council, here to provide staff report on this item is Mike Kingery, Independent Internal Audit Program Manager.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This update is just to change the original wording of the ordinance that created my department and the audit committee to better reflect the actions of doing the annual risk assessment and creating the audit program and distributing reports. The way it was originally written was that the audit committee would be responsible for that, when in fact I do those. So this is just making the verbiage match the actions as they occur. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Any questions from the council? Hearing none. Can I get a motion on item 23, ordinance 023-52?
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move that we approve ordinance number O23-52.
I have a motion from Councilmember Melner, second from the Vice Mayor to approve the recommended action. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Councilmember Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Melner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomachoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote? Chair votes aye. That motion also carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 24, ordinance 023-53?
Ordinance number O23-53, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, authorizing the abandonment of certain rights-of-way in the City of Glendale and directing the city clerk to record a certified copy of the ordinance.
Mayor and members of the council, who provide staff report is Jamie Chapin, Principal Engineer, City of Glendale.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a request to abandon public right-of-way at 2 locations within the city. The first is located on Reams Road, adjacent to the Bickman Industrial Development. The excess right-of-way will be incorporated into the site and be utilized as a drainage channel. The second location is on 69th Avenue within the Golden Ridge subdivision. The abandoned right-of-way will be taken over by the HOA, and the area will be incorporated into the subdivision's open space. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the council? Hearing none, can I get a motion on item 24, ordinance 023-53?
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance number O23-53.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Tomashoff, second from Councilmember Hugh to approve the recommended action. Any discussion on the motion? Do we have any speaker cards?
No, sir.
Thank you. Roll call vote. Councilmember Eldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomashoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote? Chair votes aye. That motion also carries unanimous. Ms. Bauer, would you introduce item 25, ordinance 023-54?
Ordinance number O23-54, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Glendale, Maricopa County, Arizona, adopting the land use assumptions and infrastructure improvement plan related to the future adoption of development impact fees.
Mayor and members of the council, here to provide staff report this evening is John Murphy, Engineering CIP Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Mayor, members of council, tonight, with your approval, what you're doing is adopting the land use and infrastructure improvement plan, which really lays the groundwork for what will come next. So what's going to come next is going to be a public hearing on the development impact fees. So there'll be a public hearing, just like there was a public hearing on the land use and infrastructure plan. There'll be one again on the impact fees, and then after that public hearing, we'll be back one more time for the adoption of the impact fees. Thank you.
Okay, and that public hearing will be at a future meeting, not tonight.
Correct. That we're going to aim for the November 28th meeting.
Any questions from the council? Hearing none. Have we got any speaker cards on this item?
No, sir.
Okay. Can I get a motion on item 25, ordinance 023-54?
I move we adopt ordinance O23-54.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Turner, second from Councilmember Tomashoff for the recommended action. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilmember Eldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Hugh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Milner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Tomashoff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilmember Turner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, how do you vote? Chair votes aye. That motion carries unanimous. Moving on to council comments and suggestions. Councilmember Eldama.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm speaking to offer my heartfelt and sincere apologies for a recent incident during a public meeting where I mentioned the name of a person in a manner that may have caused discomfort or concern to the family and friends. I understand the importance of respecting individuals' privacy and the emotions associated with mentioning a person's name in a public forum. It was never my intention to bring about any negative feelings, and I deeply regret any distress I may have caused to the family. I want you to know that I value the family and the trust they placed in me. The incident was a genuine oversight on my part, and I assure you that I'm taking it very serious, and I'm committed to being more mindful and considerate in the future to ensure that such unintended breaches of your privacy do not occur again. Please accept my sincere apologies. I hope you can find it in yourself to forgive me, and I absolutely apologize. Thank you. No further questions, no further comments.
Councilmember Hugh.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd just like to thank the citizens of my Cactus District coming to our meeting that we held, and more importantly, my council assistant Shannon for when it happened. She didn't work hard to make it happen, and all the city employees that pitched in. It was a wonderful night, and again, without Parks showing up to take care of everything, it never would have happened. We had, I don't know, 200-300 people there. It was a great evening. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Milner.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to remind the citizens that the deadline for the election for the Glendale bond is coming up. If you, everyone should have received their mail-in ballot. They can still request one up until about the 28th of October. There are 3 locations where you can drop off ballots in Glendale. One is Foothills Recreation, one is the Glendale City Clerk's Office, and one is the Glendale Elementary School District Office. That's according to the Maricopa County website. You can actually vote in person at the Foothills Recreation and at the Glendale Elementary, and they will be opening up by October 30th, and we'll have in place voting. Also, I would like to thank, one more point I wanted to make is, if you have a mail-in ballot, you have to make sure you mail that in by about November 1st in order to ensure that it gets there by Election Day. It just needs to arrive by Election Day in order to be counted. Also, I wanted to thank Vicki Rios for her presentation to the Bond Committee on the 16th. I listened to that recording, and it clarified in my mind as well, I think for the public, some questions that have come up in the public's mind about what the street bond is going to be covering. And I just wanted to go over a couple of those items. The first thing that she stressed in her presentation was that the street projects list is a type of project. It's not the exact project that's going to be done exactly like that. For example, if it lists 75th Avenue, 75th Avenue is a big street. Thunderbird is a big street. Cactus is a large street. We will be doing those projects, but the timing of when we do those and where we will exactly do those won't be known. And I wanted to clarify for the public also that there are several sources that money comes to the city for our street projects. The bond is not the sole money. In fact, it's a small portion of the total money that would be spent for our streets.
Mayor, if I may, I would just want to remind the council members that this is the opportunity for the council to provide comment as it relates to what's been noticed on the agenda. Thank you.
I disagree. According to the ruling that the Supreme Court gave, that you can make comments. This is not an item on the agenda, but if you're saying that it's illegal for me to say these things, then I won't do those.
Mayor and council, I would direct you to make the council comments as has been noticed and refrain from making statements as regards to the upcoming ballot item. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Tomachow.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to ask Choya residents and staff to save the date December 7th for the annual Choya Holiday Mixer. It will be held at as usual, at the Foothills Recreation and Aquatic Center from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. We've engaged the same caterer we had last year. We made some changes last year, and I think everybody enjoyed it. So put the date on your calendar for December 7th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. and hope to see you there. Thank you.
Councilmember Turner.
No comments tonight, Mayor.
Vice Mayor. And my comment is not about voting.
For what it's worth.
I'm not going to say anything about voting. So, actually, it's actually for Mr. Mellner. He had some citizens that were upset with some code enforcement activities that were going on, and he took it upon himself to get with the neighborhood and asked me if I would come out, and we sat for close to 2 hours and talked with the neighbors and listened to their concerns, and quite honestly, I think it was very beneficial for a lot of people, maybe not for everybody, but for an awful lot of people, and I think that it was just a really, really good play on your part. I think the citizens want to know that we do care, and as a council member, you certainly showed that, so good job. Good job. With that, our stand-up for veterans went very well, and I want to thank all the employees from the court systems for their participation in making a positive difference in our veterans' life. With that said, next on our agenda is the citizens' comments. We make this opportunity available to citizens to bring information business before the council that's not on the printed agenda. I have, looks like 3 or 4 cards here. There is one that's yellow that I think was intended to be blue. Mr. Eller, is that correct? Okay. Okay, so, well, you did okay, you got here. And there's a baseball game tonight, so we're gonna have you speak, and then, you have 3 minutes, come on up to the microphone. You know your district, if you'll state the district that you live in. For those of you that don't, we don't need your physical address, we just need to know the district that you live in. If you don't know that, then tell us your crossroads. Mr. Eller, you got 3 minutes, go ahead, sir.
First of all, thank you for allowing me to address you tonight. I am from the Yucca District. I believe Ms. Clark is our representative. Kind of what you were talking about with Mr. Milner, how you had some, there's a lot of people in my neighborhood are pretty upset with code enforcement. How do I put this? Our neighborhood is not like this neighborhood in the picture. The Yucca District is more blue collar, multifamilies living in single homes. My neighbor, there's 3 families that live in the house next to me. There's 2 of the house next to me. My adult children, one works for corrections, one is getting ready to go to the Phoenix Police Department Academy, and we're trying to give them a leg up, so they're living with us. We have 6 adults in a 4-bedroom house. My kids share a room. We have 6 licensed drivers, but due to the zoning, we're only allowed to have 3 vehicles parked at our house. To my understanding from talking to the code department, that was changed in 2021 or 2022 after you voted on some different parking enforcement. But back in 2015, I spent $4,000 putting in a concrete pad adjacent to my garage so that I could park my service truck. I own a small diesel repair company. And now I'm being cited for parking on the pad that I put in that code enforcement told me, well, if you take out the grass and you pour concrete here, you can park there. Okay, well, fast forward 6 years later, now I can't park there. I have a service truck that has over $500,000 worth of tools. I'm a heavy diesel mechanic, and I kind of like to have it parked where I can keep an eye on it. I mean, I don't know how many of you drive through the Yucca neighborhood, but it's not what it was 10 years ago. And it is declining. It's a lot of good, hardworking people, but there's a lot of crime, and it's like I said, it's not that neighborhood. We are on the south end of Glendale, which is a wonderful city. But I think that we need to, what applies to a neighborhood like that doesn't directly apply to a neighborhood like mine, as far as code and parking enforcement. And I'm not sure how to go about finding some kind of mutual ground where the city is happy with how the houses look and the people are happy with what they're allowed to park at their house. I don't know if I'm rambling on or if you're getting the point that I'm trying to get at. Like I said, I've never addressed the city council before. I spoke with the gentleman that runs code and compliance last week. He said, go down, see if you can make an appointment with Joyce, make your 3-minute card at the end of the meeting and get the ball rolling. It's the best I can do because a lot of these things get passed without conferring with people door to door. People don't know what's going on in the ballots. I'd be willing to even go to try and get some of my neighbors together who have had some of these infractions of these multifamily homes for parking and see if we could get together and maybe meet with Mrs. Clark or the planning people and see if there's some kind of amenity that could be made for us. Because it's not practical for me to go out and rent storage to park my vehicles, especially secured storage where I could have my work truck. I'm not financially in a place where I could have a shop yet. I've been doing this for about 4 years, but we're more on the mobile cusp. So that's pretty much where I'm at with it. I don't really have a whole lot more.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Connie Kaiser?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you
yes,
great.
I can hear the mayor, council. My name is Connie Kaiser. I live in the Saguaro District, actually in Hidden Manor, which is north of Arrowhead Town Center. And I know most of you have heard about the Stay Apt or Stay Apartment project in North Glendale that is scheduled to be put on a future council agenda. An appeal to council has been filed by the applicant because its project was unanimously denied last month by Glendale Planning and Zoning. The Stay Apt proposal is for a 3-story apartment extended stay project to be built on a 1.9-acre vacant parcel located in the 7300 block of West Camino San Xavier. with primary access from a privately owned alleyway-type road between 75th Avenue and 73rd Avenue without safety elements of lighting or sidewalks. That alleyway access is also used for loading and unloading to several retail stores. Please remember, looking at professional marketing brochures from the applicant and listening to the claims that this will be a high-end project that won't affect the neighborhood often doesn't give the real story. This is an important issue to a lot of Glendale residents, and before this matter comes to council on appeal, I would ask that each of you take time from your busy schedules to drive by the location and see for yourselves the condition each one of the P&Z commissioners saw when they visited the site in order to better understand what the residents of Secluded Acres, Arrowhead, and Hidden Manor had been complaining about. After seeing the site firsthand, the P&Z commissioners unanimously agreed that the Stay Apt project was not a good fit for that particular location or the surrounding neighborhoods. In fact, one commissioner commented on the record that he wouldn't be happy either if that project was going in next to his neighborhood. Again, I encourage you to personally look at the site in question before you vote on this project. I think it's very, very important to the neighbors and the 600 plus neighborhood residents that signed the petition against this. Thank you.
Thank you. Helena Bodine. Good evening.
Greetings, Mayor, Council. My name is Helena Johnson Bodine, and I live in the Choya District. On October 10th, I extended an invitation to one of you to sit down with me civilly to discuss any differences we may have after I shared the inappropriate behavior and public display of anger toward me by this council member. As a reminder, this happened at an event where 4 out of 7 of you were in attendance, that I was also an invited guest. I was loudly and publicly called a liar and falsely accused of campaigning against this bond election after I spoke to this council about my experience on the bond committee. I tried to spare embarrassment to this council member and hoped we could meet in person privately. I'm here tonight to tell you that this council member did not accept my invitation or the opportunity to meet with me. It is clear to me that this council member is refusing to speak to or listen to constituents. Mayor, Council, this person is Vice Mayor Joyce Clark. The Vice Mayor's behavior is unacceptable and lacks true leadership. This behavior reflects badly on the entire council. You are only as strong as your weakest link. Vice Mayor Clark, you do not only owe me a public apology, you owe an apology to the city of Glendale. Thank you all for your time.
Mr. Dibler, you're up.
Hi, my name is James Diber. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm speaking to you regarding a few concerns. The traffic light at 61st Avenue and Olive near Glendale Community College don't work. It took me over 5 minutes to walk across the street. I hope the city of Glendale will improve this intersection by adding left turn arrows without getting hit by an automobile. There is a lot of college students walk across the street. Finally, we need to install a traffic light at 71st Avenue and Kennebec Road. there is a lot of accidents with the automobile and pedestrians walking across the street to catch a city bus. Glendale needs to do a traffic study if the traffic light is needed at this intersection. The city of Glendale did an excellent job with Stand Up for Veterans at Arizona Christian University. Thank you for your time and consideration in this matter.
Thank you, James. There being no further business before the council tonight, I'd like to thank everyone for attending. There's no objection, and I don't hear any. This meeting's adjourned.
Anytime, my friend.